let's talk about the Detroit Lions, the complete rebuild of this team. Dan Campbell has been a great head coach with this team. Give Coach Johnson a lot of credit as well on the offensive side of things. He will be a head coach for another team next season. And you look at Aaron Glenn as well. He may be a head coach next season as well. The Detroit Lions have something special with this team. They're headed to the NFC Championship after defeating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-23. And all I heard throughout Jared Goff's entire career, as long as you keep him upright, he'll be a very good quarterback. But when the offensive line is not as strong, he's not that good of a quarterback, and he doesn't do well against the blitz. In today's game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers blitzed a lot, and Jared Goff was 30 of 43, 287 passing yards for 2 passing touchdowns. He has been carrying this offense on his back because the run game has been inconsistent with this team. Jahmyr Gibbs did have 9 carries that went for 74 yards and 1 rushing touchdown, and David Montgomery only had 10 carries for 33 yards. That was it. Jared Goff is putting this team on his back, and he's going out there and beating teams with his arm by making the right play over and over again. And we saw what he was able to do last week as well. This is perfect for the Detroit Lions. And all of this season, they were dealing with injuries to the defensive side of the ball. We're starting to see guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson come out there and make some big plays with this team. And he's a great leader with this team as well on the defensive side. But I look at the offense. It started from when Dan Campbell had his first press conference with this organization. He said he wanted to come out here and bite kneecaps off and run the football and be aggressive. And that's what the Lions have been over and over since he's been here. 3 years ago when they first hired him, a lot of people looked at the Detroit Lions sideways and they said, what are you doing? And the first year was not pretty, but the back half of last season, they were a red hot team. To see them go 0-16 a couple years ago and to see where they are right now, I'm happy for the fan base and I'm happy for this organization, because when they traded Matthew Stafford, a lot of people thought automatic rebuild. We're headed back to the dark days, and that's not the case. You have a very talented quarterback in Jared Goff who had 30 passing touchdowns on the season, and he had the second most passing yards in the NFL as well, with only 12 interceptions on the season. Those are very good numbers for Jared Goff. And you look at David Montgomery, over 1,000 yards rushing. They selected Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. Some people are saying, why are you selecting a running back in the first round when you have David Montgomery? Because David Montgomery is the power back with this team. Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy that can come in, catch the ball at the backfield, and he is so explosive in open field to where you can't catch him. So you can go out there and he can get 30 to 40 yards like it's nothing. And it puts the offense in a better situation like how it did today against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Give Coach Johnson a lot of credit because he started to call those screen plays like it was no tomorrow. They were sending in those blitzes, and one of the touchdowns went for a great play in the back of the red zone to Amon-Ra St. Brown. But the way that Coach Johnson is making teams not go out there and blitz over and over again, it's beautiful to see. And to see Jared Goff deal with the blitz better as his career has went on, it's beautiful as well. You have Sam Laporta, who is a top tight end in the NFL, and he is just a rookie. He continues to make big plays with this team. And it's the rookies. It's guys like Jahmyr Gibbs. It's guys like Sam Laporta, who had 889 receiving yards and 10 receiving touchdowns on the season. And you look at this offensive line from tackle to tackle. They're phenomenal. They go out there, they do their jobs, they pick up the blitz assignments, and they go out there and they run downhill with those 2 very good running backs. And I haven't even spoke of Amon-Ra St. Brown just yet. 1,515 receiving yards on the season and 10 receiving touchdowns. And he had a great game in this game as well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had 8 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown, like I mentioned just a couple seconds ago. He is a great wide receiver with this team, and he's a true #1 wide receiver with this team. And the defense has been better as well. Early on, Aaron Glenn caught a lot of flack for how bad the in-game adjustments were, how there were little to no in-game adjustments. In this game, before halftime, he left Cameron Sutton in one-on-one coverage with Mike Evans, and it burned him. They went down there, they capitalized off a big gain, they got a touchdown out of it. That's what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. Then you look at what he was able to do later in the game. He made the safety be able to go over there, rotate, bluff the blitz, and basically confuse Baker Mayfield, and the team went 3 and out. It's the little adjustments like that by Aaron Glenn which makes him a top defensive coordinator to some people in the NFL. And that's a great look for Aaron Glenn as well, because early on in the season, he was just stuck to his guns and said, man, you know what? I'm going to stick with the one-on-one coverage no matter what. added. You have Brian Branch, who's been a top player in the secondary as well. Another rookie with this team. Kirby Joseph, a very good safety with this team as well. Cameron Sutton has his moments where he looks really good. He has his moments where he looks really bad. But next week, he's going to have to be on his A game as this team faces the San Francisco 49ers. And you look at Aiden Hutchinson, the best defensive player on this team. 11.5 sacks on the season, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. But he has 8 sacks in the last 4 games. He is starting to become one of those top pass rushers in the NFL with this team. And that is something the Detroit Lions have needed for quite some time. Their defense looks very good. And they can go out there next week. They do travel to San Francisco, but they can go out there next week and they can beat the San Francisco 49ers. This team is 1 win away from being in the Super Bowl. And I feel so good for the Detroit Lions fan base because they deserve this. From going to 0-16 to seeing the quarterback that most of the fans loved in Matthew Stafford trade him away to the Rams and automatically find success with the Los Angeles Rams. Some Detroit Lion fans say, hey, that's as good as we're going to get to getting to a Super Bowl. This team is 1 win away from that. So to go through all the trauma and all the adversity they've been through over the last couple of years, they deserve this. And majority of the people that are football fans are going to root for the Detroit Lions next week. Yes, the San Francisco 49ers right now are the team that's favored to win, but anybody on that field has a chance to win, especially when you have a coach like Dan Campbell. And the way they're able to run the football and the way that Jared Goff is playing right now, do not be surprised this team can go to the Super Bowl and possibly win the Super Bowl. But this has been a great tenure so far with Dan Campbell being the head coach of this team. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Detroit Lions? And do you think that they can go to the Super Bowl and they can win the Super Bowl? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.